It's just about 5 o'clock. We're going to get started. Hello, welcome to Operation Remote Resilience. My name is Jacquelynne. I'm a certified Warriors at Ease teacher. And today we have a 30-minute all levels yoga class. Just gentle stretching. I don't have any standing poses unless you would like to request one. We're going to start in a comfortable seated position. Your legs can be crossed. They can be straight out front. Have pillow or bolster under them for support. They can be bent or straight. Whatever you're looking for today. Do something comfortable. We're going to take a breath. Maybe softening the gaze. The eyes here. Just checking in. Be rocking side to side, grounding through the sit bones here. Got your feet on the floor, maybe grounding. We're going to engage the core. Nice gentle engagement here to protect the lower back. We're going to try to keep this engagement throughout the class. Maybe do a quick shoulder roll, bring shoulders up and down the back, squeezing together to open up the chest. We're also going to try to keep posture. Maybe taking those fingers to the chin, pushing it back gently to line up the ears with the shoulders, creating more space in the back of the neck. Lifting the crown of the head towards the ceiling, lengthening the spine. Maybe have the palms on the legs, face down, face up, however you would like. And breathing. Maybe going through a mental body scan here. All the way from the toes to the crown of the head. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere. Not judging, we're just noticing. Taking a few breaths to acknowledge. Whenever you're ready, we're going to start with the neck stretching. Bring that right ear to the right shoulder to stretch the left side of the neck. Reaching those left fingertips out towards the mat. Seeing how that feels more of a stretch for you. Maybe holding here. This is good for you. Or maybe taking an inhale, turn the chin up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring the chin down towards the collarbone. Maybe cycling through this a few times on your own breath. Or maybe sitting in one of these spots. Needs a little more attention right now. Remembering to breathe. On the next inhale, bringing the chin back to face forward and the neck back to a neutral position. Then we're going to switch sides. Stretch the right side of the neck. And maybe reaching those fingertips down towards the mat. Either holding here in this stretch. Taking an inhale, turning the chin up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring it down to that collarbone. Again, you have the option to cycle with breath or hold in any of these spots. Remembering to breathe wherever you are and keeping that core slightly engaged. Next inhale, bring the chin back to the front, bring the neck back to neutral position. Taking an exhale, dropping chin to chest, keeping those shoulders down and back. Chest is open. Inhale, come back to neutral. You're going through just stretching the back of the neck here, or people like take an exhale, dropping the head back, lifting the chin, stretching the front of the neck here. Inhaling back to neutral. You can cycle through switching these, exhaling, chin to chest, feeling center very slowly. Exhale, bringing the head back, stretching the front of the neck. Inhaling back to neutral, and either cycling, do that a few times, maybe holding in one spot. Just getting a deeper stretch wherever you need it. Next, inhale, and back to neutral position. We're going to take the arms, sweep them up on an inhale, lengthen in the spine, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. And exhale, bring them back down. Inhale up, maybe rotating the wrists in one direction on the way up. And exhale, rotating the opposite direction on the way down. Again, cycling through this a few times on your own breath. Trying to keep those ears away from the shoulders, or the shoulders away from the ears. If you find your arms are right up next to your ears, gently bring those shoulders down and back. Keeping the core engaged to protect the lower back. And after a few times, bringing the hands back to neutral, coming back to our beginning posture. Lifting the crown of the head towards the ceiling. We're going to come to our tabletop position. Maybe grabbing a blanket for the knees if you'd like. We're going to ground in through the tops of the feet, shins, and the knees. Our knees are about hip width apart. If this is uncomfortable for your ankles, we'll be placing a blanket underneath. We're going to bring the hands about shoulder width apart. Fingers are nice and spread out. We're grounding through the palms of the hands and all of the fingers are pressing in, protecting the wrists. Our shoulders are still squeezing down and back. We have a flat back here with our core engaged. Inhale, lengthening the spine, keeping the tailbone neutral. Then we're going to cycle through cat-cow. Taking an inhale, dropping the belly, squeezing the shoulder blades. And exhale, separating those shoulder blades, arching the back and tucking the tailbone. And cycling through just a few times on your own breath again. Remembering to breathe. And on the next inhale, coming back to a neutral spine. We're going to curl our toes under here very gently. Take an exhale, maybe pull those hips back a bit, pushing into the toes. Feeling a stretch in the feet here. If this is too intense, you don't even have to move the hips back. Maybe just curling the toes under gently. Gentle foot stretch here. Or if you need more of a stretch, bringing those toes a little forward and pushing the heels back. A little more. Maybe rocking gently with the breath. Exhale, bringing the hips towards the heels. And inhale, coming up. And after a few times, maybe uncurling the toes, we're going to reach that right leg back. Curl the toes again. This time, we're stretching this leg back straight. On an exhale, we're going to gently push back till we feel a stretch in the calf here. Your foot may be like this, and maybe pushing all the way back. Wherever you are is perfectly fine. Inhale, coming forward gently out of the stretch, and exhale, pushing that heel back. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Again, cycling through this on your own breath, or maybe holding this stretch for just a few breaths here. Keeping this whole leg, outstretched leg engaged while we're stretching. On the next inhale, releasing that outstretched leg, bringing it back in. Maybe tapping that foot, releasing the calf, and switching sides. Stretching that right leg back, toes are curled under. Again, maybe this is a good enough stretch for you, and that's fine. We're going to take an exhale, gently push that heel back all the way through the body. Inhale, coming forward gently. Exhale, pushing back with the whole body towards that heel. You get this calf stretch here. Maybe rocking with the breath, inhaling forward and exhaling back. Maybe holding this stretch for a few breaths. Keeping the shoulders squeezing down and back. Our core is still engaged. This outstretched leg is also engaged. Pressing in through the palms of the hands and the fingers. Remembering to breathe. On the next inhale, coming forward, releasing that calf. Maybe tapping out the toes and shaking out those legs. We're going to take an exhale, start to pull the hips back towards the heels. Curving this back a little bit. Maybe feeling that stretch in the low back. And inhale, coming back up. Exhale, pulling the hips back again, maybe a little further this time. And inhaling back up to all fours. Exhale, pulling the hips back. And inhaling up. We're going to exhale the hips back again. This time we're coming into child's pose, and we're going to hold here for a few breaths. So you can grab any props that you would like for support. Maybe a block or bolster for the head or pillow. Maybe a bolster to sit on in between the hips and the heels. A little more support and spacing. Whatever you would like your child's pose to look like. We're going to be here for a few breaths. If you would like, taking a wide-legged child's pose, taking the knees towards the outside edges of the mat and pulling the hips back towards the heels. For a more active child's pose, you can reach those fingertips forward, keeping the arms straight. For a more relaxed child's pose, maybe bringing those elbows down and a little bit closer to the body. We're going to take a few breaths here. Just noticing the breath coming back. Noticing the pace of the breath, the depth of the breath. Maybe going through a quick mental body scan from the toes to the crown of the head. If you're in a wide-legged child's pose, bringing those knees back to center and inhale, coming back up to all fours. This next pose, we have options for whichever poses you would like. The first one I'm going to show you is lying on our back, your 4. The second one is the hurdler stretch, and the other option is pigeons. So if that is within your practice, you can go ahead and start doing that. I'm going to start with showing you lying on your back. Knees are bent, the feet are flat on the floor. We're going to take the ankle over the opposite knee, and this top foot is flexed, so is the bottom foot. We're going to stretch the hips here, maybe walking that foot, the lower foot in a little bit, or even lifting it up off the ground. You can hold here. Maybe if you have a wall nearby, you can place your foot on the wall or a chair to rest it on. Maybe reaching the arms around and holding behind that leg and pulling in closer. Feeling a stretch in the outside hip. So that's option 1. Our second option is to come into hurdler stretch. Our knees are all at 90 degrees. We're keeping our feet flexed at 90 degrees. We're kind of sitting on the outside of that front hip. And take an inhale, lengthen the spine, engage that core. And exhale, slowly walk the hands forward, holding over this front leg. And holding wherever you feel a good stretch. We're going to hold this pose a little longer than most poses. So if you have to adjust, feel free to go ahead and adjust at any time. And then the last option is pigeon. Bringing the knee in between the hands. This foot can be wherever is comfortable for you. I use a blanket for support under my front hip. This back leg is going straight back. Taking an inhale, we're going to engage that core, and exhale, slowly walk the hands forward, holding over this front leg here, and feeling a stretch in the same spot. You have 3 options for this pose where we're stretching the same muscle group in all 3 poses. And you just have the option for which one you'd like to try this afternoon. Wherever you are, breathing. And finding your way to relax into the pose. You need to adjust. If it starts feeling uncomfortable, go ahead and adjust. And back to the breath. You're in figure 4, lying on your back, and you have your leg up. Slowly release that leg back down to the floor and bring it off the knee. Maybe shake out those legs. If you're hurdler, stretch, or pigeon, start walking up and releasing that front leg, shaking it out, however works for you. Taking a few breaths here to readjust. And we're going to switch sides, starting with our 3 options again. Taking the ankle over the opposite knee, keep both feet flexed to protect the knees. Again, maybe walking that lower foot in towards the hips. Maybe lifting it up off the ground, or using a wall for support if you have one nearby. Or if you have a chair, rest that leg on. Maybe bringing those hands to hold the bottom leg. Maybe pulling it in. Finding a good stretch here. Finding a place to relax into that pose. Again, your second option is a hurdler stretch. We're at 90 degrees. All over our legs and knees. All the bends. Kind of sitting on the outside of that front hip. Our core is still engaged. We're going to slowly take an exhale, walk the hands, then release for engagement when you get to a good point that you hold it for a little bit. Again, this pose is a little bit longer than most, and if you need to adjust, go ahead and do that. And again, our third option is in. Bringing the hands up front, grounding, bringing that knee in between the hands. Again, maybe grabbing some support. That back leg is coming straight back. Taking an exhale and slowly walking the hands forward. Feeling a stretch in the hip area. Again, choosing your option. Angle this front foot doesn't really matter. It's up to you. As long as it's comfortable and not full for your stretch. Breathing wherever you are. And if you need to adjust at any point, if it starts feeling uncomfortable, go ahead. Make that adjustment. And it's for the figure 4 lying on your back. Release the ankle from that leg. Maybe shake it out. Your hurdle or stretch or pin. Coming out of that, be shaking out the legs. We're kind of lying on our back to our supine twist. And after that, we will come into our final relaxation. So if you want to grab your props, have them nearby ready. Lying on our back. Our knees are at about a 90-degree angle here. Arms are out in a T or in cactus arms, whichever you prefer. You're going to take an exhale, lowering the knees to the right side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lowering the left side. Inhaling center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Center. Exhale, right. And center. Exhale, right. We're going to hold here for a few breaths. So finding your way to relax into this pose. We want to keep our hips stacked on top of each other. So if this brings your shoulder off the ground, that's fine. And maybe playing with bending and straightening that top leg. Maybe the opposite hand on that knee. Just finding what works for you to hold here for just a few breaths. On the next in, gently bring those knees back to center, taking a full round of breath here. Taking an exhale and an inhale. On the next exhale, slowly lowering the knees to the left side. Again, try to keep these hips stacked on top of each other. So if your shoulder comes off the ground, that's fine. Again, finding your way to relax into this pose. And remembering to breathe. On the next inhale, bringing the knees back to center, maybe giving yourself a little hug, rocking side to side, placing that lower back a little bit. And whenever you're ready, be stretching out those legs to your final relaxation pose, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe grabbing a blanket, cover yourself, a pillow or bolster under the knees to release that lower back. Maybe you have something under your head, a little bit of lift and support there. We're going to come back to the breath. Maybe noticing how it's changed. Pace, depth. Start off this class. Just saying. I'm going to walk you through a mental body scan that you can follow or just enjoy your own time to yourself. I will let you know when it's time to come back, but if you are in your own space, you are more than welcome to stay where you are. And I'm going to go through a quick mental body scan. Take an inhale, exhale. Any tension that you're holding, maybe direct your breath attention towards that spot. I'm going to start with the left big toe, the left second toe, the left middle toe, the left fourth toe, the left sole of the left foot, left, left shin, the left calf, the left knee, the left quads, left hamstring, the left hip, whole left leg. See any tension you may find to the right toe, right second toe, the right toe, right, right, the sole of the right, the right ankle, the right shin, the right calf, the right quads, the right hand, the right hip, right leg. Please any tension, right thumb, the right index finger, the right middle finger, the right ring finger, the right pinky finger, the palm of the right hand, the right wrist, the right forearm, the right elbow, the right upper arm, the right shoulder, the whole right arm, the left thumb, the left index finger, the left middle finger, the left ring finger, the left pinky finger, the palm of the left hand, the left wrist, the left forearm, the left elbow, the left upper arm, the left shoulder, the whole left arm, the legs, the hips, the belly, the lower back, the chest, and the upper back, both arms, the neck, the jaw, the cheeks, nose, the eyes, the eyebrows, the forehead, finally the crown of the head, releasing any tension you may find. Taking a few breaths here. Feel the support of all the props, or even just your mat. And if you're in your own space, you're more than welcome to stay here longer. Otherwise, whenever you're ready, starting to lengthen the breath, deep inhales and exhales, bringing a little more energy back into the body. And starting to wiggle the fingers and toes, moving up to the wrists and the ankles. Maybe reaching up overhead for one last full body stretch, all the way from the fingers to the toes. And taking an exhale, drawing the knees into the chest for one last hug for this class. Maybe rocking from side to side. And whenever you're ready, rolling onto the right side, using your arm as a pillow. Taking a few breaths here to slowly wake up. And whenever you're ready, using the least amount of effort possible, with the head coming up very last. Using your arms to push yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Maybe keeping the eyes closed or the gaze soft. And we're going to take an inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead, lengthening the spine, and bringing the hands down together. Thank you all for practicing with me as a part of Operation Remote Resilience. And my name is Jacquelynne. Thank you for supporting us. We do have a link below if you're interested in donating. And donations help support teachers like me and other teachers. And if you enjoyed this class, there are plenty of other classes from me and other teachers. So thank you for joining me. And this is Jacquelynne signing off Operation Remote Resilience. I'll be on for a few more seconds if you have any chats. Oh, thank you for coming. If you have any questions or anything, you just type them into the chat. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to any of our classes. Thank you, Letty.